So first thing we have this evening is our 2019 State of the County Address. And I'm going to ask that we all move and sit with the audience to first watch the video that staff has created for all of us. Welcome, everyone, to, I'm going to see which is the right place for my mic here. Just right here? Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the State of the County Address. It is my honor to stand before you today as chair of the Durham County Board of Commissioners to bring you this message. Other than being the mother of 3 wonderful children, it is the highlight of my life to represent the people of Durham every day and put my heart and soul into doing my best for the people of our community. I am grateful to the people of Durham for this privilege of serving as your county commissioner. And I am grateful to our board for the privilege of serving in this leadership role. I want to recognize my esteemed fellow board members, Vice Chair James Hill, and Commissioners Heidi Carter, Brenda Howerton, and Ellen Recca. I value the unique perspective, skills, and knowledge that you each bring to the work we do every day in the community we all love so passionately. I want to acknowledge our county manager, county attorney, general managers, chief of staff, clerk to our board, and all of our department heads and Durham staff for the incredible work you do to serve the people of our community. You are Durham County government. And I would just ask right now if all those categories of people, everybody who is part of Durham County government, if you could all please stand. Right. The state of the county is an opportunity to reflect on where we are in our mission for Durham County to be a place where all people can live, work, and thrive. This is a chance to reflect on our achievements, our challenges, and where we need to remain focused in the years ahead. Events of the past several months and weeks around the Durham Orange Light Rail project have been challenging for our community. This project has been a focal point for the future of Durham and our region for many years and for many reasons. It is the heart of our strategy to provide an alternate type of highway, a high-capacity, accessible, reliable, environmentally friendly mode of transit as traffic congestion increases every day on our roads. It has been the centerpiece of our strategy to address the reality that 20 people move here every day. And over the next 30 years, we will need to figure out where 160,000 more people will live and how they too will get around. This project has been the focus of our land use planning for the past 15 years. We have smartly funneled almost half of our new residential, office, and commercial development into the light rail corridor. We've spent years detailing land use plans around the station areas to prioritize affordable housing and create walkable, high-density, mixed-use neighborhoods people like to live in. We have also looked to light rail as a tool to help us address underlying structural racial inequities. Many people in neighborhoods continue to suffer from the historic remnants of redlining and disinvestment, as well as the dislocation, destruction, and disconnection caused by 147. The light rail has been seen as a way to physically bridge the divide and create connectivity, bringing a major infrastructure investment to the doorsteps of North Carolina Central University and the Austin Avenue and Fayetteville corridors. We're seeing that gentrification and rising housing costs linked to the revitalization of downtown Durham and new economic opportunities are exacerbating inequities. When we think about the state of our county today and the great things happening in Durham, we must also face the harsh reality that 26% of our children are now living in poverty. 37% of Black children and 36% of Hispanic children, compared to 8% of white children. The child poverty rate is actually increasing in Durham during this period of overall economic growth. And while our overall poverty rate is decreasing, it is still above neighboring county, state, and national averages and disproportionately higher for people of color. White Durham residents are more likely than Black residents to own their home and get a mortgage, and almost a third of Black and Hispanic households have zero or negative net worth. The reason the light rail has been seen as a way to address poverty in Durham is because of the critical nexus between housing, jobs, and transportation. 2 out of every 3 permanent affordable Durham Housing Authority units will be footsteps from a light rail stop, a gateway to 90,000 good jobs within a 50-minute traffic-free commute. And why does this matter? Because 60% of these residents, mostly people of color, are currently unemployed. Plans for job training programs for the 20,000 construction operations and maintenance light rail jobs were underway. Affordable housing, affordable transportation, good paying jobs. We need all three to create the conditions for shared prosperity. Studies show that Durham and Wake counties rank among the lowest 6% of counties in the United States for upward economic and social mobility, and that access to transportation to good jobs is the factor most highly correlated with a person's ability to move out of poverty. Transportation is freedom. Freedom to wake up every day and know you can go wherever you want to go. Durham must be a place where everyone has this freedom that many of us take for granted. Durham's ability to be the best place to do business, raise a family, or attend school will be determined by our ability to create shared prosperity. Racial equity trainings are an important first step that must be followed by structural, systemic change related to access to capital, education and job training, affordable housing and transportation, and good paying jobs for all people in Durham. That is why so much has been at stake with the Durham Orange Light Rail project. And that brings me to another reason why the past few weeks have been so challenging for Durham County. Duke University is Durham's largest employer, with more than 35,000 jobs. Many residents work at the university or medical center. Duke was founded on and continues to benefit from the hard work and talent of Durham residents, just as Durham benefits in many ways from the university and medical center. Many people in our community are strongly connected to both Durham and Duke. People like me, who is a Duke alum, the mother of a Duke grad, and married to a Duke employee. The fates of Duke and Durham are inextricably intertwined. This is one of the reasons why the decision of Duke leadership to not be a partner in the light rail project has been so devastating. Indeed, in recent years, Duke's priorities have been aligned with Durham as a stakeholder in the revitalization of downtown, community health, and Durham public schools. In the coming weeks and months ahead, we will need to have community conversations about the relationship between Duke and Durham and how we will forge a new path forward. At this moment, the future of the Durham Orange Light Rail project is uncertain. But what is certain is that the need to manage our growth, sustain our economic development, and combat poverty and racial inequities must be our collective community focus and the foundation for any future plans. I am proud of the work the Durham County government is doing to create equity and shared prosperity in Durham. Our number one priority is our children. The most strategic investment we can make to combat intergenerational poverty is ensure all our children are ready to learn by the time they start kindergarten at age 5. Research has shown that by this time, most of the critical pathways for learning in the brain have been set. That is why the hallmark of Durham County's work over the past year is our first steps to create our groundbreaking Durham Pre-K program. Our board could not be more proud of this effort, which is like no other early childhood education program in the United States. This past year, we delivered on our promise of 1 penny for pre-K and invested more than $3.5 million in our Durham pre-K program. With the leadership of Linda Chappelle, our expertise, and the staff of Child Care Services Association and the Durham Pre-K Governance Committee, we are creating a program that will leverage the potential and build the capacity of existing Durham pre-K programs, increase the salaries of our severely underpaid pre-K teachers, increase the salaries, invest in their professional development, and create a high-quality pre-K curriculum that exceeds the standards of 5-star pre-K classrooms. And I would like to now ask Linda and any of the staff who are here from Child Care Services, if you would still please stand, any of the members of the Governance Committee, and also we have 5 new classrooms who just launched this month. I don't know if anyone's here from Brown's Early Learning School. Ms. Cheryl Brown, are you here? Please stand. And also Child Care Network number 57, Ms. Chanel Davis. I don't know if she's here. And she's an assistant teacher in Durham Pre-K. And I'm not sure if Miss Shatiba Bullock is here, who is the education manager at Durham Head Start. And Linda and your staff, can you please start? Oh, okay. Thank you. You all stand up too. To date, we have 18 provider sites who have entered the technical phase of our expansion, 13 pre-K classrooms that are in our pipeline to open as Durham pre-K sites in August 2019, and 5 classrooms officially opening as Durham pre-K programs this month, which we just acknowledged. And we will also be providing subsidized or sliding scale fees to support the goal of universal access to high-quality pre-K education. This is a long-term systemic investment that will help us change the fact that only 38% of children, predominantly white children, begin kindergarten ready to learn. High-quality pre-K education is the first step of a successful cradle-to-career continuum that begins with an equitable foundation for lifelong learning and ends with a pathway to a self-sustaining job. Price tag is high. It will eventually cost $15 million per year to fully implement the Durham pre-K program. Durham County cannot do this alone. We invite community stakeholders and partners to share in this vision and help us ensure all of our children can thrive. Other highlights of our strategic plan, Goal Area 1, Community Prosperity and Empowerment, are also tied to our board's focus on cradle to career. Another important priority is making sure we have a diversity of good-paying jobs with different skill levels for people in our community. In the past year, our economic development investments have resulted in 1,440 new jobs and $338 million worth of new investment in Durham. We have seen expansions of RTP's companies such as Biogen, Census, and LabCorp. Avexis, also an RTP, will invest more than $100 million in Durham County and create 400 new jobs, many of these manufacturing and warehousing jobs that do not require advanced degrees, but pay average annual wages of more than $70,000. And in Trayburn Industrial Park, Corning will invest more than $180 million more dollars in their campus to expand and create 317 more jobs, of which 259 will be manufacturing jobs that also pay about $70,000 per year. We are very fortunate in Durham. We have lots of jobs, nearly 200,000, and our county has the highest average wages in the state. But many of our residents who need them the most are still not benefiting from these jobs. We call on our partners, our manufacturing employers in RTP and Trayburn, Durham Tech, Durham Public Schools, the Office of Economic and Workforce Development, NC Works Career Center, Durham Housing Authority, the Chamber of Commerce, Made in Durham, our Workforce Development Board, and our nonprofit employment partners to create the pathways of internships, apprenticeships, certifications, and trainings necessary to put Durham youth and adults in the line for the good jobs that Durham County is supporting with economic incentive. At last week's Durham CAN meeting, attended by 650 people, we also heard this call. I applaud Durham CAN for helping to lead the way. We have all the ingredients. The time is now. Let's make this pipeline happen. Supporting another ingredient in our Cradle to Career continuum, Durham County is proud to fund Durham Tech's rebranded College Promise program that offers every Durham High School graduate a $2,000 scholarship, which covers most of the cost of attending 2 full years at Durham Tech. The Durham Tech College Promise can propel every Durham youth into a post-certificate job or continued studies at a 4-year university or college. Every high school student and every parent in Durham needs to know about this college promise. Money should not stand in the way of any high school graduate in Durham County pursuing a trade, career, or college. Nothing is more important than investing in our children, our most precious resource. Over 1/3 of Durham County's budget, more than $150 million, is allocated for education. We continue to provide strong support for Durham Public Schools with some of the highest school funding in our state. We rank 3rd in our per pupil spending and 4th in teacher salary supplements. DPS is also impacted by the challenges of our children living in poverty, as 59% of students qualify for free or reduced lunch. One of the solutions to this challenge is the community schools model. Durham County is directly funding 2 pilot community school programs at Lakewood and Southwest Elementary Schools. The role of the community schools coordinator is to help empower and engage parents, teachers, and students to come up with school-based solutions and provide better connections to community resources to support student achievement. We look forward to seeing the progress with this school community-based approach in the years ahead. In Strategic Goal Plan Area 2, Health and Well-Being for All, okay, sorry, I skipped a page. We must face the challenge of increased charter school enrollments, declining DPS school populations, and the need for redistricting to make best use of existing capacity and associated efficiencies in school operations. In our upcoming capital improvement plan and budget process, Durham County will need to look at strategies to address additional funding needed for a new or renovated Northern High School and a new elementary school in South Durham, where residential and school-age population is growing. Our demographics show that we have the highest population of 24 to 34-year-olds in the Triangle region. We encourage young families to choose to send their school kids to DPS. There are great things happening in so many of our schools. And we know that our public schools, our community, and our society is strongest when children of all backgrounds, income levels, and races go to school and learn together. Our public schools can create a community of shared prosperity. In Strategic Plan Goal Area 2, Health and Well-Being for All, Durham County continues to implement programs to address health disparities so everyone can be healthy. This past year, the Durham Board of County Commissioners adopted an Adverse Childhood Experiences, ACEs, resolution. We now understand that when children, especially young children, are exposed to toxic stress, biochemical and structural changes in the developing brain lead to adverse effects on overall health and wellness. But we also know that with the right interventions, these negative impacts can be reduced. Out of the top 10 large counties in North Carolina, Durham has the highest percentage of our population, 25.9%, considered to be at risk for ACEs. The ACEs Task Force, with leadership from Commissioners Carter, Howerton, and Reckow, envisioned Durham as a trauma-informed community. Work is underway to build a community resilience model. 15 staff members are now trained to teach others about the impact of trauma and chronic stress. This coming Thursday is a county-wide convening for a trauma-informed community training. County-supported programs such as Read Out and Read provides ACEs screening for mothers, babies, and children with connections to support services. Similar to state and national trends, Durham's rising foster care population seems to be an alarming symptom of issues like ACEs, poverty, mental illness, and substance use. We currently have 309 children in foster care, with 61 of these children eligible for legal adoption. Durham residents have opened their hearts, and we now have a record number of 108 licensed foster homes. But this is still not enough to meet the urgent need. In fact, we spent more than $3.8 million on our foster care children last year, more than our Durham pre-K program. A special appreciation to our Department of Social Services Director and Rose and DSS staff who are on the front lines helping people in crisis every day. This year, we celebrate DSS's proud legacy, 100 years of providing compassionate care to Durham citizens since 1919. And if we have any of our DSS staff here tonight, can you please stand and be recognized? Jovetta, I see you. In our 2017 Community Health Assessment published this year, we see the 2018, we see the interrelationship between health and poverty. The county-wide health survey identified the community's top 5 priorities for good health. Number 1, affordable housing. Number 2, access to health care. Number 3, poverty. Number 4, mental health. And number 5, obesity, diabetes, and food access. These priorities underscore the importance of the social determinants of health. Research shows that environmental factors are more impactful on health outcomes than biological or genetic factors. And we see that play out in Durham, where your life expectancy is tied to your zip code. Durham County continues to take the lead in addressing medication misuse and substance use. Since our leadership forum last February, representatives from sectors across Durham have formed Durham Joins Together to Save Lives, a county-wide task force chaired by Dr. Wanda Boone, director of Durham Together for Resilient Youth, and myself. And I don't know if Wanda is here tonight. We also have 3 task force, prevention and education, led by Dr. Angelo Birch and Wanda Boone. Number 2, mental health and treatment, led by Cindy Haynes and Dr. Ashwin Potkar. And data, led by Ryan Bell and Michelle Easter, who have all been hard at work on cross-system collective impact strategies. I am so proud of the collaborative and innovative work of these committees, which have already resulted in several grants and pilot programs to offer follow-up treatment and peer support for people at their point of contact, and plans for MAT or medically assisted treatment for people in our detention center. And I want to see if anyone here from who's participating in the Durham Joins Together, if you could please stand and be recognized as well right now. I see some people who are not standing, but that's okay. Durham County Public Health Department continues to lead the way promoting our free naloxone kits to reverse overdoses and our free needle exchange program. The great news is that occurrences of overdoses are declining in Durham, but we are seeing a disturbing trend of racial disparities with higher per capita overdoses, especially with heroin and cocaine within our Black population. Looking at crime data, we see the positive trend of continuing decrease in property crimes, but violence plagues our community. Durham County ranks 4th highest in the state for violent crime, with 613 incidents per 100,000 people. We consider violence to be a public health crisis because of its detrimental impact on the well-being and health of individuals, families, and neighborhoods. We recognize the urgent need to stop violence as it can spread like an epidemic in real time and across generations. We see our investment in Bull City United, our violence interruption program paying off dividends. Over the past year, violent incidents have declined in both the McDougal Terrace and Southside neighborhoods, with BCU staff involved in 157 successful mediations, an increase of 104% over last year. BC workers also connected 44 people to jobs, with more than half of these people gaining employment. Thank you to our BCU staff. And I would like to ask if actually you all can come up here. Got a number of our BCU staff here with us tonight. Thank you all. Just want everyone to give you a round of applause. As noted by a Department of Justice violent crime expert speaking in Durham several years ago, the best way to stop a bullet is a job. Thank you. Okay, and I see Dr. Lowry trying to hide in the back here, who is the director of both BCU and Project Build. Thank you. Our children and our elderly are our most vulnerable populations. Like the rest of our state, nation, and world, Durham's senior population is growing. This is a demographic trend we must plan for and address right now. I am proud to report that we have made great progress over the past year. Last spring, Durham City and County partnered in a livability index self-assessment to just see how age-friendly we are. We did well on 79 out of 121 factors, covering areas such as housing, transportation, healthcare, and supportive services. But with an overall score of 65%, we have a lot of work to do. We have taken the next steps to pursue official designation by AARP and the World Health Organization as an age-friendly community. And I'm very excited to share that today we actually got our official certificate from AARP, from the director, the national director of the Age-Friendly Community Program. And this certificate is valid until February 1st, 2021. So we have the clock is ticking. Our first requirement is to create a Durham County Master Aging Plan. We hope you will get involved. Just today, we had a public convening to get community input and engagement, and it was awesome. We had, I don't know, a lot of people. How many people would you say? over more than 100 people who showed up and spent the whole day. And I will say that the convening started in the morning with a racial equity training, and the director of the statewide effort of AARP, Age Friendly Community, she acknowledged that Durham is probably the first place in the entire world that has started their age-friendly community process with a racial equity training. So Durham should be proud. A community advisory committee is being formed. Please stay tuned on how you can participate in this exciting and important plan. Our public health department is synonymous with one person. And that is our director, Gail Harris. She looks exactly the same. Gail has been a part of the Durham County Health Department for 47 years. And this picture was taken before she was part of the Durham County Health Department. She's been with us for 47 years. Gail will be retiring this year after literally devoting her life to improving the health of people in our community. Gail, we thank you. It's hard to get mad at somebody leaving after 47 years, right? There is a lot of progress to share around our strategic goal plan area 3, Safe Community. We recognize the vital importance of our first responders. To address gaps identified in our 2018 classification and compensation study, we have invested more than an additional $1.4 million in first responder salaries, benefiting 534 employees. We have welcomed a new sheriff, Clarence Burkhead. Who is partnering with others to reduce our overall jail population and focus on those charged with violent crimes who are considered risks to the safety of our community. I'm proud to report that the current population of our detention center is at a record low of 384 detainees. Compared with 535 in 2016. Over the past year, the Durham County Board of Commissioners has invested more than $946,000 to ensure that all necessary safeguards to prevent suicide risks for detainees are installed by October 2019. To improve staff safety, $850,000 has been allocated to raise pod stations. This year, we have also seen the opening of a mental health pod for male detainees so that people can get the specialized care and services they need. This coming year, we look forward to the opening of our mental health pod for women. Durham County has also expanded funding for the Durham Literacy Center's high school equivalency and job skills training program. We are excited that the detention center recently received official designation as a GED testing site and was able to hold the first ever high school graduation. Our board hopes to see more of these celebrations and this type of programming in the years ahead, so that even when residents are in our detention center, they have opportunities for education and job training. And right now, I'd like to just recognize all of the members of the Office of the Sheriff to please stand. Thank you. Durham County is preparing for the implementation of Raise the Age and the Juvenile Justice Reinvestment Act. Significant investments need to be made in the Durham County Youth Home. We are looking to partner with the state on this project as Durham County provides one of only 2 existing regional facilities in North Carolina. Staff is also evaluating ways to keep our youth separate and create a youth pod at the Durham Detention Center. Our priority is doing what we can, doing what is best for all of our youth. Our board supports Sheriff Burkhead and his policy in regards to ICE detainer requests. We strongly condemn recent ICE activity in Durham, which has terrorized children, families, and neighborhoods. These actions do not make Durham safer and, in fact, have the opposite effect, as people who are witnesses or victims of crime may not come forward out of fear of law enforcement. We also see the consequences in Durham County government as people cancel appointments to sign eligible children up for pre-K programs. But this has only motivated our staff to work even harder to reach these parents. We are investing in the people of our community by trying to keep people out of our criminal justice system in the first place and helping justice-involved residents transition successfully back into our community. Our model misdemeanor diversion program has been expanded to 16 to 21-year-olds, and efforts are underway to further expand this program, which has a 99% completion rate and a 9% recidivism rate. Misdemeanor diversion works. Our award-winning court reminder texting service, an innovative collaboration between our IT department and our Criminal Justice Resource Center, helps keep people from being arrested for failure to appear in court by sending participants court appearance reminders 72 and 42 hours in advance of court dates. Enrollment in this program has increased by 15%, and arrests for failure to appear continue to decline. And I just want to ask if any members of our IT department, our director, CJRC, you all could please stand. We recognize. CJRC is expanding mental health and substance use reentry support services thanks to a more than $749,000 3-year federal grant. Our growing reentry council has developed a network of 62 partner agencies to support the 700 annually returning justice-involved residents. In the past year, housing was provided to 40 people, vocational training for 6, and transportation assistance for 203 clients. CJRC is also the recipient of a grant-funded work with the Pretrial Institute to determine how we can improve and expand our pretrial release program. Pretrial release saves Durham taxpayers nearly $2 million a year per person in daily detention costs. And, most importantly, the costs of the collateral consequences of job loss, negative impacts to families, and increased rates of recidivism associated with even just a few days in the detention center. We have seen lots of changes in the past year in how our residents are getting the most effective and efficient delivery of our first responder services. Durham County Fire and Rescue Services merged and consolidated with the Durham City Fire Department. We celebrated this model of collaboration with the opening of the co-located Station 17 Fire and EMS facility on Leesville Road, better serving our growing residential development in this part of the county. Our community paramedicine director, Helen Tripp, and paramedics Philip Keene and Michael Gailey are doing a great job of helping people who need wraparound support and connection to resources. Thanks to their efforts, we are seeing the number of program participants increase and associated 911 911 calls per participant decrease. And I see that we have Philip and Michael. Oh, they're all here. Michael and Philip, they're both here. Just stay standing a minute. We have both of our paramedics here, Michael and Philip, and then Helen, our director. So thank you. Now, who's working? Because I know one of you is on a 12-hour shift. Okay, good. Thank you all so much for being here. Such a great program. Almost daily, we learn about events linked to natural disasters, climate change, gun violence, or terrorism that devastates communities. Jim Groves and Durham County emergency management staff are helping us prepare and recover from potential future events with a $932,000 grant-funded, complex, coordinated terrorist attack regional plan, as well as a grant-funded cross-agency Durham County emergency plan. The staff of our Emergency Operations Center did an incredible job responding to Hurricanes Florence and Michael this past year. Kudos to all Durham residents who signed up for Alert Durham and DSS staff who did an amazing job operating our emergency shelters. And I'd like to recognize any of our emergency management staff and members of the EOC and our EMS staff as well that I didn't recognize before. Everyone, if you would also please stand. Another shout out to DSS for administering 13,077 DSNAP applications and issuing $4.2 million worth of benefits to Durham residents during a marathon 8-day effort in the aftermath of Hurricane Florence. Reflecting on Strategic Plan Goal 4, Environmental Stewardship and Community Prosperity, Durham County has had a record-setting number of ribbon cuttings this year. From Station 17, newly renovated Admin 2, state-of-the-art Joint 911 Center, to the renovated W.G. Pearson Center, home of Student U and other youth-centered nonprofits, we are continuing to make long-term investments in our community. The main library renovation is taking shape and will be the centerpiece of downtown Durham. We're moving ahead with improvements to Durham County Annex, EMS Facility 1, Durham County Memorial Stadium, a new convenience site in northern Durham, and upgrades to our other convenience sites. We have also made significant investments in our award-winning Triangle wastewater treatment plant that supplied 110.7 million gallons of reused water to companies in RTP and turned 600 million wet pounds of biosolids into usable compost. So I want to acknowledge, I don't know if anyone is here from our Triangle wastewater plant, but these people do not get the acknowledgement they are due. Another milestone this past year, our board revised our contract with the RTP Foundation for our $20 million investment in public amenities and infrastructure in the redevelopment and re-envisioning of the 100-acre Parkcenter project at 54 and Davis Drive. This project will transform the Park Center into a work, live, play environment and bring in more than $1 billion worth of investment into Durham County and create more than 5,900 jobs. The Durham County Board of Commissioners made a historic decision this past year with our commitment to create affordable and workforce housing in downtown Durham. Community engagement and input, plus expertise from the Development Finance Institute, helped us assess how to maximize the 300 and 500 Main Street parking lots for community benefits. The result is a plan for mixed-use development projects that will include a minimum of 277 affordable units. The RFQ process for public-private partnership is underway, And a special thank you to Terry Manns for providing leadership over these and many other projects. And I'm not sure if Perry, oh, there you are, Perry. Thank you, Perry. Finding ways we can address the urgent need for affordable housing is a priority for our board. I am proud to also highlight our newly adopted affordable housing surplus property, which ensures that any surplus properties that are not eligible for county functions will be made available to the city for affordable housing purposes. And thank you to Jane Corrist and her staff who made this happen, and I'm not sure if Jane or any of her staff are here tonight. We can also see and feel the impacts of climate change around us. This past year, our board took the bold step of passing a climate change resolution that challenges Durham County government to transition to 100% renewable energy by 2050. And thank you to our Environmental Affairs Board for your work on this important resolution. Our first ever sustainability report shows that since 2009, we've reduced greenhouse gas emissions from our buildings by 22% and our utility operations by 15%. Next steps are a sustainability plan that will guide the actions we need to take to meet this aspirational 2050 goal. And thank you to Tobin Freed for your help and your work with the Triangle Regional Resiliency Plan that can help us prepare for increased flooding, extreme heat and cold, drought, and wildfires associated with climate change. And I'm not sure if Tobin is here tonight. In Strategic Goal Plan Area 5, Accountable, Efficient, and Visionary Government, Durham County staff are rolling out our online quarterly reports and data DCO NC, an interactive dashboard portal that will make Durham County performance data more visual, accessible, and user-friendly. We hope that everyone will check out the online departmental strategic plan and budget data to better understand what is happening in Durham and see how your tax dollars are being put to work. Thanks to the leadership of our recently retired tax administrator, Kim Simpson, and our interim director, Teresa Hairston, Durham County posted the highest ever collection rate of 99.82%. And Teresa, thank you, Teresa. As everyone surely knows, we have just completed a reevaluation of our 116,000 properties located in Durham County as we move to a 4-year cycle to better address the swings that can happen with the longer span of an 8-year cycle. As expected, the highest increase in market values appear to be in downtown Durham and adjoining neighborhoods. Outside of these areas, there seems to be mostly moderate change. Our tax administration staff has worked hard to provide information to residents and make the appeals process as user-friendly as possible. Property owners can still file appeals of their property value through May 3rd, 2019, and our board will set the new tax rate as part of the budget process in June. The recently released 2018 Customer Satisfaction Survey is one of our report cards. We are happy to see improvement in all areas of resident satisfaction interacting with Durham County government. Congratulations to our more than 2,000 county employees for this achievement. Durham County outranks other large counties we are benchmarked with in the United States as a great place to live, work, visit, raise children, and retire. The survey identifies public education, DSS, and public safety as the areas that need our greatest improvement. Of note is the growing resident dissatisfaction related to how people get around. Whether it is the condition of our roads, bicycle and pedestrian facilities, our public transit system, or general ease of travel, the survey indicates declining citizen satisfaction or low ratings in comparison with similar-sized communities. Improved mobility is clearly a growing need in Durham County we must address. I am incredibly proud of the work of our City County Confederate Monuments Commission. Thank you to co-chairs Robin Kirk and Charmaine McKissick-Melton and all of the commission members. You devoted countless volunteer hours to thoughtfully guide our community through an inclusive and transparent process of engagement, education, and dialogue. Thank you to all of the Durham residents who participated in this process. And thank you to Donna Rewalt and all of the volunteer facilitators, many who are our Durham County staff, for your role in supporting difficult conversations about the legacies of slavery, racism, and white supremacy that continue to impact us all today. And I want to recognize, I see some of our facilitators who are in the audience here. I don't know, anyone who, any commission members and facilitators who helped out with the process or engaged in the process. I believe that the challenges we face today can strengthen our community and our resolve for Durham to be a beacon in the South, the beloved community, and a place where shared prosperity and racial equity are not just taglines, but guide policymaking and strategic investments. The words emblazoned on the Durham County Health and Human Services building are our challenge and our truth. Durham's vitality is built upon the health of our residents and the capacity of our community to foster and enhance the well-being of every citizen. Durham has tremendous strength. As we are reminded in the film, The Best of Enemies, Durham's legacy is the grit, determination, and resilience of our people, who will be the unrelenting force for positive change. Thank you.